Good evening, everybody. Look at who we've got in the house this week. We've got Ken from Cowboy Adventures, Lone Cowboy Adventures. I always screw up on everybody's name when I'm in.
Well, like Tish Ross and Pooch, Empty Homestead, they call me Lone Star because
I wasn't
they're
even
the
I wasn't even thinking about
they're
that. But
they're crazy Texans.
there's a couple of people that have been calling you that. I don't even know
Yeah,
why. They didn't get in cahoots to do it either.
right.
But now that I've heard that, I keep thinking it myself. I don't think I've said it, but I think it.
Right.
So who do we got in the house this week? We've got Mary Ann Bimler, um, uh, Rebecca Touched by Yarn, Hugo's Homestead. You got Linda Dobson and Heartland HQ with Dink and Dank. That's new to me, so it must be. It's just new to me. I've always been told don't say that because it might not be known by the other person either.
Right.
Curmudgeon in Alaska and Being Us Odyssey. Man, these are throwing my tongue for some reason. BNS Odyssey always gets me. I always have to say it out.
Yeah, I got to meet Beth down there at the Stockton Lake,
Yeah,
Stockton State Park. That was pretty cool. I got to meet some neat people down there. I really enjoyed that.
Whirly gigs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know if you can see it.
There you go.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, we saw them at. They were at the Mid American meetup. She had a lot of them. A lot.
I was really happy when they gave me that stuff. They gave me a Harley coat and everything that they found on the side of the road.
Yeah,
it was cool. I was really happy.
I saw that live where you were showing all that. They also gave me cornhole boards and signed.
Yeah, we won them. Yeah, we haven't used them yet. I think we're going to use them maybe on Sunday if it's not raining. So
I thought it was funny. They had them sign the
yeah.
Where did they get that idea from?
Yeah. Yeah. They're good. It was good. I hope it grows. I hope it grows.
Yeah. Well, that event, that I did that event right at the Mid American meetup.
Right.
That was so much fun that I'm going to have to do it again.
Yes.
Do it again, and but I will start them much earlier.
Yeah. Well, I guess next year that one's going to be in Arkansas.
Yeah.
So that's some good motorcycle riding areas down there.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
So I saw your little video, your short showing you going off and getting on your bike again after all your healing you've done.
Yeah, I think that was yesterday. I actually did a video on it, and I actually turned out of the driveway the same way when I had my accident.
That was the next thing you were going to say.
Yeah, you got to shake it off and just do it, and not even try not to think of that. I'll be honest with you, I was a little nervous, but I didn't ride very far, maybe 5 miles, because I had some stuff to get done around here. And I really wanted to go out today, but the grass, it grows. So I had to cut grass.
Yeah, I saw that. I was the poor guy probably looking at that grass knowing he needs to get to it.
Right.
Well, that's a lot too.
Yeah, I have like a 2-acre pasture, 1.5-acre pasture where I kept my cows and calves when I had cows and calves, and I have been mowing it with my mower. Well, for 2 months I couldn't mow, so guess what? I had to brush hog it. I guess that was on Sunday, and then I went back through it today with my riding lawnmower. It's the tallest setting, and it was a mess. I had to go pretty slow.
It's going to take a couple of times.
Right.
A couple of times to get through it. I know there's a section that we need to mow because they had done some road work. What were they? They were laying fire hydrant lines, and
Mm-hmm.
they had messed it all up, and it had flooded and all kinds of stuff. So we didn't get to it for a while, and now it's all a mess.
Right.
But it looks like they fixed it. Now we can start mowing it again.
Right. I'll let you say hi to everybody that's in here because man, it's just going like crazy.
Is it?
There's a lot of people in here I recognize.
Yeah, we've got Hat Creek Homestead and Cold Beer Ranch, Paul
Oh.
Honeyman, Lazy Days Ahead. No Judgment here with Tish Ross. Good evening. We've got Hiking with Jackie Boy and David Moffett, Evelyn Newman.
Yeah, I really regret.
It jumped on me. A country
I'm
boy
sorry.
is what?
Country boy.
Paint buffer.
Yes. Yes. Yep. I met him down at the Stockton Lake meetup. He's a good guy.
My Wild Home is in here, and they're going to be my guest next week. And
Awesome.
I'm excited about that one because they're building on they bought an island.
Oh wow.
Could you tell me how many acres that is? I forget. It's acres. It's probably a square mile. It looks big. It looks big from the aerial views. But that's pretty cool. It was habitated at one point, but all the cabins are deteriorated, and they're gonna rebuild it.
I wonder if they have bears that swim across on their island.
Probably because
You know?
I don't think the waterway is all that big. They bought a barge and drug it across the country.
Wow.
But we'll talk about that next week for sure. I'll be talking to them. I'll probably start talking to them tomorrow. I've done a lot of email chat with her over the handful of months, actually. We were waiting for the Mid-America meetup to be over with before we actually did a live, but that'll be fun.
It's kind of like you and I. We had talked before the meetup.
Yeah. We talked a lot earlier than that.
Yeah.
I think it was probably 7 or 8 months ago that we actually talked about doing this. And then you said you wanted to do it just before you went to the motorcycle convention, right?
Well, I think it was before our vacation in May, because in May we were supposed to go to Florida for take a 2-week motorcycle trip down to Florida.
Yeah, that's what
we planned on going all the way to the Keys on the bike and with the little motorcycle camper, but things change.
Yeah, I guess so. It's always something.
Yeah.
But anyway, and you called me like last week. Hey, and I knew why you were calling. But that's fine. I always wanted to do a live with you. And here we are.
Yeah.
Is there he is. Alaska's last frontier homestead.
Mm-hmm.
Wearing your hat, buddy. And there's Full Blown Country.
Pooch.
These are my buddies. Those are my buddies, Pooch and Pretty. Love them.
Yeah, I did the thing with Tish, and that was very therapeutic for me to do,
Well, it was therapeutic for anybody watching too, because
right.
There are some people that think they're alone in their own minds and what they've gone through in their life, and it's always, I guess, it's comforting to know that they're not alone.
Right.
And everybody's got their story. And yeah, she's been doing them with people from the community. There's other people that she does that we're not really familiar with, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting kind of roped into it though. It's not usually my thing to listen to trauma
Mm-hmm.
of sorts, but when it comes to your own people, and you want to, and it does bring you closer to those people. It's amazing, because we had Jess on this last week, and I'm good friends with Jess, but I didn't know any of that.
Right. Yeah.
I did not know any of that.
And David, excuse me just a second. David Moffat, did you go to the dealer for the Great American Convoy? Is that what you're saying? You had a great time, it says. I wonder if that was with the Great American Convoy with Adam Sandoval. Yeah. Sorry about that. I just saw that comment pop up, and I thought, well, I wonder if somebody else went to the. There's another channel called Kevin with Camping Cage Free that went to the Pig Trail Harley Davidson and mentioned the channel and shook Adam's hand, and that was his first send off on his 120 dealership tour, and that was awesome. Sophia says she was at the Harley dealer today with Adam Sandoval. That's awesome. Cool. So it's getting out.
Yeah, all these different communities of people that have like-minded interests.
Yeah.
I mean, you always knew about, like-minded interest in people doing community things, but I've never really been involved with a community quite like this.
Right.
Just this last year and a half.
Right.
Well, about a year and a half, I guess.
Full Blown Country says, what kind of Harley do I have? I have a 2020 Road Glide Limited. 34,000 miles on it right now.
34,000.
Yep. We've laid down some highway miles, that's for sure. Yeah,
a lot of interesting combinations of people doing collaborations and stuff. This last few months has been pretty interesting to watch, such as Pretty and Pooch and Justin got together this last weekend, and we saw their videos. That was pretty cool.
Right. Yeah, I hope to meet a lot of people face to face, and after the meetup down there that you guys had at the Mid-America, I told Linda, I says, man, we should have just went ahead and gone down there, just for at least for the day. I could have drove, Yeah. I think I still had a cast on, but I could have drove.
You'll make the point of doing it next,
because I really wanted to see a lot of people, even Big John and everybody that was there,
yeah, last year you came to Shoot Dang for like an hour.
Yeah, it was like an hour and a half.
I saw you in the corner of my eye, so I knew you were there. When I saw you in the lives, and I think I saw you on you came in on my live.
Right.
Like, I think I've seen you before.
Yeah.
I didn't really know a whole lot of people when I went to Shoot Dang.
I didn't either, because that's the very first time, and I barely probably had 100 subscribers back then, maybe, if that. So that thing was all new to me.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of channels there that I've always liked watching, and some channels I shake my head like, oh my gosh, why are you doing that?
Pooch.
And but I love everybody I love watching everybody and everything. It's just, I've met a lot of good people online. I haven't met face to face, like Backwoods Mindset. I've done some stuff with him in the past, and I've never met him face to face. I've always seen him online,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah. That's
actually,
when you came in
yeah,
my life.
yeah, yes, that's
He
what it
was my
was.
co-host.
Yes, yes. I actually got to see him on screen face to face, but it's different when you're standing next to the guy or gal and say, hey, So let's see here. Somebody said something about the Harley dealer. I missed it. I don't know. David Moffat, 300 channels of Mid America Meetup.
That was huge. That was huge. And just went too fast. We really need to have a meetup where it's like maybe not a week, but 4 or 5 days would be nice at least.
Right.
Because and we even got there early. We got there on a Thursday. So we did spend time with Maddie and Byron for a little while that evening. And then we got up and then we were already there Friday. So we were able to go straight there. So we did get the most out of it. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah, because we had thought, because we were going to leave for Florida, I think on that weekend, and I told her, I said we could detour down there, and then leave from there. It was either going out or coming back. I think it was going out because it was May 19th. I think that my vacation started. So I thought, well, we could go down there for the weekend and make our way, down through Louisiana and go to Florida, ride the panhandle of Florida, and then go on down to the Keys, So, but everything happens for a reason.
There you go. Just a second. I want to check something here. Okay. I'm afraid to touch this because I'm going to end up blowing myself out of the screen. It's happened. You'd be scrolling through the chat and gone.
Right.
Like, what the heck happened?
Yeah, I've got the chat going on my phone and the screen here.
Yeah, I have the pop out chat.
Right.
So we've got did I say hi to Dot Roper? Dot Roper's in here.
Yeah.
And Roberta's Artistic Adventures is in here. Mountain Maples Ranch. 47 people in the house. What's tomorrow like, Paul Honeyman? He's in the next day already. Yeah. Don't pull a pooch, Brian, in your farmhouse. What was that? Oh, messing with the screen? Yeah. Yeah, Pooch. Our first live together. Pooch could not figure out why his audio wasn't working, and he was freaking out. We keep talking about how, because that was only my second live.
Uh-huh.
And it was his first. And it was just funny because we were so stiff and nervous about what we were doing. And I told him and he agreed. We really need to do a what do they call it? A commentary over that video.
Right.
Have it alive or something.
But wasn't it Jess that was live down there at the meetup and he come across you and told you that Papa was missing or something like that, or he was lost, and you really thought it was true?
We were in Backroad Freedoms live.
Right.
That was Pretty Pooch, me, and obviously Justin, and a handful of other people that were coming in and out. And JB Conway was driving back and forth with a different group of people every 2 seconds, it seemed. And I said, why don't you go get Papa? So she says, okay. And she took off to go get him. And then they come back. Papa's missing. Are you serious? Have you checked the truck? It's probably sitting in the truck taking a break.
Right.
Taking care of the dog because Paco was with us. Yeah, I didn't realize he was going to make a storyline out of that. That was actually pretty cool.
Right.
That video that Jess did was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
By far the best video coming out.
That's another guy.
I don't even have to skirt around it. Jess had the best video that came out of.
Yeah. That's another guy I'd like to meet face to face down there in Arkansas if I ever make it down there in that area on the bike, you know.
Grilling Addiction with Nick is in here.
Hey, yeah, Nick.
Speaking of Paco, I'm going to get the story out of the way because I haven't verbalized it to anybody what happened, and people's minds are, I don't know. It was traumatizing actually because I don't even remember I don't remember leaving him outside or whatever it was that distracted me to where I lost contact with him. But he was gone for like 2 hours and I was desperately on the, you know, it was now that I look back at it, it's kind of funny because you know how Jess is coming in, Papa's missing, they're all running around on golf carts and stuff. Well, that's what we were doing with Paco, only this was real. Real. And you know, after a while I'm just kind of slowly walking through the yard, and you know, I tried to keep from panicking because, you know, when do you stop looking? I mean, I couldn't stop looking for him. I couldn't find him in the ditch. I wouldn't have wanted to find him in the ditch, but if that's where he was, I wanted to find him.
Right.
He's blind. He's deaf. He wouldn't know where he was. That's why when I take him out to go to the bathroom, I stand right there. And a couple people made jokes about me carrying him at the Mid-America meetup. Well, what's he going to do? I mean,
right.
You put him down and he just stands there because he doesn't know where he is, especially in a different place. So even the smells aren't familiar to him. So at any rate, after I was just about at my ropes to give up, and my mom and dad had gone out in the car or the truck, and it was pouring rain. So not only was it hard looking for him, but it was just pouring, literally, like you couldn't see at some points. And they found him out there in near the grapes. I was like, she called me and she goes, "We found him." And I was like, "Is he alive?"
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Yes." And I lost it.
Right.
I lost it. And you know, I don't cry very often, but the relief was so big.
Right.
That I lost it.
Right.
And he, about an hour after it all happened and it was all settled, he was still whining. I mean, like, It wasn't even a whine, it was a wailing. Like, I'm not going to try to.
He was scared.
Well, he was in Papa's lap, and he got upset because I didn't have him.
Right.
I can imagine. I know what I went through. I could only imagine what he went through, being out in the middle of nowhere with pouring down rain and not knowing where he was.
Right.
But, you know, it was not my intention to go and blow it through the social media and anything. I put it on my own personal page, my own personal Facebook page, because I know there are a handful of friends from high school even that deal with missing dogs and adoptions and all that stuff. And I was trying to get a hold of them to see if I could find out if anybody had reported a dog. You know, it's kind of funny because about 5 months ago, my dog was in the yard with me, but I must have, before he was totally blind. So I was kind of doing my own thing, and somebody had driven by or something and thought that the dog was by itself.
Mm-hmm.
She was taking pictures, and then she put it on social media. This dog doesn't have a collar. It's missing. And somebody, I should have got it and took it to the SPCA. And it's like,
Wow.
and it showed up on my sister sent it to me. I was like, the dog is mine. He's in his own yard.
Right. Right.
But, and one last other thing that I was thinking is Paco is a stray. So he came into my world
Mm-hmm.
from nowhere.
Right.
And for him to disappear like that would have just like went out the way he came in. And that was
Right.
just heartbreaking. Because I know somebody lost that dog. He's
Mm-hmm.
an amazing dog. I mean, at this point in his life, he doesn't have like cognitive issues or anything, but he's blind and deaf. He doesn't know where he is.
Right.
But before when he was totally vibrant, that was a smart dog, and he knew when I asked him to do something, he just did it. I didn't have to train him, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the Paco story. Who else is in the chat? Oh, Into the Mist is in here.
Yeah. Awesome.
Hello there.
I like those stories.
What's that?
I said I like her videos.
Oh, we almost
missing
I
person
almost called
stuff.
you, Lindsay. I almost called you, Lindsay. You gotta come find my dog because we laugh about it now, but I wasn't laughing.
Yeah. No.
Uh,
Backroad Freedom.
Backroad Freedom came in here.
Yeah. I'll just mention this one time. If for those of you that subscribe to my channel, that it was Miss Linda's birthday today.
Yeah.
So I'll be sharing that probably tomorrow. It'll be posted tomorrow. So that's a special birthday present on there.
Oh, it's a good thing I didn't mention what you got her.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I'll tell all your stories.
Oh, I got some stories, Brian. You want me to tell them?
More than what you told Tish already? Oh, I'm sure.
Remember, I had three other guys I was roommates with in my 20s. You know, I could tell some stories.
Boy, I'm sure there's stories on that one. Good thing you didn't know Pooch.
Right, exactly.
Sophia is in here. Starline. And
yeah, she might be watching. I don't know.
who, Linda?
Yeah, I don't know. She's been taking care of her birthday present, so
Yeah, that would be a pretty big distraction.
yeah. Justin, how you doing? What's the weather doing down there in San Antonio, Texas?
Hot and dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just got back from you touched on it because you said you won some raffles, but tell us a little bit about it. What did you experience?
Well, we got down there and I don't know, got down there. Well, actually Jerry with Butler Family Farms gave us a ride back to the meetup, and then Miss Linda didn't know what to expect. I didn't really know what to expect, and there were some familiar faces because the first familiar face was Dale with 9 Acre Family Farms, because I had bought a half a hog from him last fall, I think it was. And I met him in Fort Scott, Kansas on my way back from Muskogee one day and paid him for it, you know. And we talked for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I had to get on and then I had to get back on the road, you know. So, very, very, very. Dale's awesome, and and then I stopped. His processor is only 3 or 4 or 5 miles from Iola, Kansas. So I called the processor when they'd let me know. Know when it was done. So I stopped at the truck stop, and then he brought it over to me, and then I come back to Kansas City. So I didn't even have to drive down there to pick it up. So that was awesome. But yeah, but it was nice. I enjoyed it. There was no drama whatsoever. It was, I took some of my stickers and cards and passed them out to people, and some people I didn't actually get to meet or talk to. Uh, the big, I think it was Robertsons. They showed up. I've talked to him a few times, on Messenger and stuff, and then oh gosh, Jan, everybody in there was just it was super neat. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, meetups are always nice. It's always nice to put an actual. Well, you see people in lives and stuff, but it's just
Right.
the same when there's something special about walking up to them, giving them a hug, and actually get to see them right directly in your space, and that's you can't. It's just not the same otherwise.
Right.
But you have social media friends, and once you meet them, even if it's only for 5 minutes, it just puts it in concrete.
Right.
It puts it in concrete because now you know what it feels like to be in their presence. And
right.
And it's funny because I didn't really talk to any one person all that long.
Mm-hmm.
It just isn't long enough.
Right.
It isn't long enough.
Simply Jan, she handed us a couple of raffle tickets, and I thought, and then they did the raffle, and I've never really won anything in my life, I think when I was 15 years old, I was babysitting my niece and nephew one time, and I called into a radio station. It was St. Patrick's Day weekend. They were giving like a dozen green bagels, and I won them. And I'm like, I'm not going to pick them. I didn't. I'm not even picking those up. But I've never really won anything in my life, So it was neat. So
I won a can of decaffeinated coffee one time, and I think because I haven't won anything in any of these giveaways on the channels or anything.
Right. But yeah, we had a good time. I mean, we didn't camp out or nothing. I rented a car to come down. My pickup's got almost 300,000 miles on it. Her car's got 270,000 miles on it, and we just rented a car for the day and went down, and we had a good time.
Wanda Hendry, Tree Haven, how many trees you got? I ask him that. I think he gets irritated when I ask him that, how many trees you got.
He's cutting them down.
That sucks because in the video I took for Mid-America, I asked him that question and he answered me, but the audio I couldn't hear what he said. So I don't know what the answer was. He was saying how he was cutting trees down and growing trees and this and that, and hardly tell what he was saying. I did want to make a note to the people in the chat. We've got 2 people who are married to each other, Pretty and Pooch. That's no judgment here, and Full Blown Country. Tish only needs 10 subscribers to make 2,000, and Pooch only needs 9 to make 800.
Wow, so, awesome!
If you're not subscribed to those 2 channels, see what you can do, and make sure you watch a little bit of their video and leave a comment. We don't call it Tree Haven for nothing. Oh, I hate it when it jumps and you're trying to read something. That's a long one too.
You talking about David Moffat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Just put it up there so
Yeah, there you go.
I can see it better. And then
Possum sausage. My channel name is Lone Cowboy Adventures.
possum sausage.
Is that what it is?
He was at Bar
Yeah.
Run Forges meetup.
Here, I'll do this for you. Here,
What?
there.
What did you do? Possum sausage. Where did I see that? I just saw it. Oop. Who do you need subscribers to? Oh, go subscribe to Full Blown Country. That's Pooch. He needs 9 subscribers. And No Judgment Here with Tish Ross. She needs 10. At least they did when they had their live earlier.
Thank you, Backroad Freedom, very much.
There's Tish's. And yes, thank you, Justin. And then where is Pooch's? I'll leave that up for a second. Where's Pooch's? Though that couple they're hysterical sometimes when they're doing a video together in their content videos. But I love even their lives are pretty fun too.
Mm-hmm.
So go check them out. Okay, that's it, Mike and Tish. That's your time. Hiking with Jackie Boy. How many subscribers do you have, Hiking with Jackie Boy? Because it seems like you're close to a mile mark or the next step up. And yeah, that's awesome that possum sausage came in here. There's our cabin in the woods. I wonder if they're going to let me have them on my live sometime. We're talking a lot to Papa at the meetup. DJ Turneroo. Links. He says links. Still don't have Pooch's link. Oh, there it probably is right there. Oh, that's Hiking with Jackie Boys. Link. So you used to be in the rodeo. Just give us a little bit of a story as to what you did in the rodeo.
Well, I was the place that I work at. There was a guy there. His first name was John, and he rode saddle bronc, and like in the state of Missouri and Kansas, just local. And we got to a conversation, and we were friends, and told him, I says, I used to show calves when I was a kid in 4-H. I said, I wouldn't mind trying bull riding. He says, well, I'll tell you what. He says, we'll go out this weekend. I'll put you on a machine out at Grand River Rodeo Company. They've got a bucking machine, and we'll start there. So he put me on a little bucking machine, and I thought, yeah. So I went ahead and paid for my card, and I don't even remember what a card, how much. I don't even remember how much it cost me. It's a Missouri Rodeo Cowboy Association, and they usually partner up with YRCA. I think it is. Oh gosh, I can't remember what association it is, but so there was a country bar down here on the south side of town that had a rodeo arena in back of it, and that was my first time riding, and I rode. He just the bull I had just bucked down along the fence. He didn't do no spinning or nothing, and I was hooked. I mean, because that's like an adrenaline rush, you know. So uh, that's what I got into it, and I don't know. I did it for a year and a half, 2 years. It was just for the good time, you know, and uh,
Did you break anything?
I didn't break any bones. One time over in Kansas, and I don't remember the name of the town. Buddy and I went over there. It was hot. It was summertime, and I came off, and my feet come up over my head. I landed on my shoulders, and we got to the truck, and I kind of turned like this and looked at my buddy. I said, "Dude," I says, "I can't even move my head." And he goes, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." So, of course, I was riding with him. So the next day, I took off work and I went to a chiropractor and he took x rays. He says, "Well," he says, "your back is in a Z and your neck is supposed to be curved this way, but it's curved the other way." He says, "We'll get you fixed up in about 3 or 4 visits." Okay. Well, this chiropractor was actually a chiropractor for some of the Chiefs players, Kansas City Chiefs players. So he was a sports medicine chiropractor kind of guy. So he had me fixed up pretty good. And a couple of weeks later, I was right back on, you know. But I've never broke anything. Never.
I'm actually subscribed to a channel, this one doctor, and I'll have to look it up. Anybody in the Texas area that needs a good chiropractic, I mean, he's got some really good ratings, and you watch him do the job, and he really does a thorough job. I never even thought about that. I got a lot of friends in the Texas area.
Once in a while, as for being a truck driver, you know, you're pushing on the accelerator, you're kind of cockeyed with your hips and you're straight ahead driving. Sometimes your back will get out of place. Now I haven't been to a chiropractor for a couple of years, but sometimes I'll have to go and get straightened out, you know. So, and it does help. But back to my rodeo days, you know, I got married and after that, and then I got into ATVs, four wheelers, you know, and that was fun because back then we were great big into Yamaha Banshees. I guess you could say I'm an adrenaline junkie, and those things we could get them things running 90 mile an hour or faster, you know.
Wow.
And we would go down to Little Sahara at Winoka, Oklahoma, and ride ATVs at least once or twice a year, and we had a really good time doing that. But then after that, you know, it's like, man, this is expensive.
Pass.
Pole bending, yeah. Wow. Yeah. Bull Riders Association and the Young Dummies of America Association. There's yeah. There's actually an association in Oklahoma and Texas, I think, that is actually for like seniors, and I don't know the name of it. Uh,
Well, are you senior yet?
oh yeah, well I'm getting there. I'm not as
What's
yeah
considered senior? Is it like 55 now?
yeah. Bite your tongue.
I'm still young for. I still can't be a senior. Although I'll walk into a restaurant and I go and I'll be with my dad and he goes and they'll automatically say 2 seniors and we say yep.
Yep, you darn right.
Because they don't look at your face. They
Right.
don't really look at your face. They just see the white beard and automatically assume because a lot of people I know that are in their 50s
Right.
still have their hair color.
Right.
But mine went out, man. Even since I started my YouTube channel, I've lost almost all of the color in my mustache now.
Right.
Because I was
like
looking at that and I was looking at one of the older videos and I still had some brown in my mustache.
right. I like going to the store and you see some kid in front of you, they'll card him, right? And he'll be disgusted. And I'll be like, dude, don't complain. Look at me. I don't get carded anymore.
Yeah, it's amazing what younger people think they're invincible, and we all did when we were
Oh
young.
yeah.
But like this week, we blew 2 tires out on the track, the front of the tractor,
Oh my gosh.
and it took them to have them repaired, and I asked somebody to help me take them out because they're freaking heavy.
You
And
got tubes in them?
kid that's probably, if he was even 5'5", but he was built.
Right.
He walked up to that tire and grabbed it, put his fingers in the lug nut holes, and
Yeah.
the truck. And I said, "You're gonna regret that. You're
Yeah.
gonna really regret that someday," because I could just makes my back hurt thinking about it. That was just a really awkward leverage that he used. He
Right.
pretty much used his arms and shoulders to do it on his spine the way he did it. And I was like, don't do that.
Right.
And
I'm laughing at everybody because
and then when I came back to get him, I asked for help because I would think that you would have 2 people and lift the sucker up in there, but no, he wanted to grab the whole thing and throw it up in there. And I says,
Yep.
Okay, probably won't be doing that for too long.
Right. But after I got rid of the 4-wheelers, I bought this place, and buddy of mine up in northern Missouri, my best friend, had a Palomino Colt and just starting to saddle break it. And he says, you want to buy a horse? I said, what are you talking about? Actually, I didn't have this place at the time yet. And he says, you want to buy Tucker? And that was his name. And I says, well, how much are you talking about? He goes, you name the price. I said, well, how about $300? He says, sold. So I bought a little 2-horse trailer. I was actually living in town at the time, and I had to board him. And I had a little 2-horse trailer. We got them loaded up. My goddaughter helped me load them up. And there is a certain way you can actually teach a horse to load and unload,
Yeah.
And then I actually it actually kind of helped me out of. I was going through some depression, a divorce and depression and stuff, man, and that just brightened my life, because he was a spoiled horse, and he would listen to you and look at you, and it wasn't too much longer after that I found this place, bought it, and moved him on here, and then I had 2 other horses after that, but did a lot of trail riding, and he was too smart for his own good because he undid the latch to his stall and got into the sweet feed because I had calves. Well, when the horse eats too much sweet feed or corn, it makes him what's called founder. It breaks down the laminitis in the hoof and rotates the coffin bone straight down to where, it's kind of like stubbing your toe all the time.
I think he's doing that, and it's quite a job to correct it, isn't it?
Yes, it's pretty bad. So, long story short, I found some Mennonites about 2 hours away, and they corrected it. And for a short time, for a few years, and then it got to where he couldn't hardly walk because he was sore all the time. And I just basically, kept getting his feet done and stuff. And it was an expensive venture, with 3 horses traveling 2 hours every 8 to 10 weeks, getting their feet trimmed. And finally, the last visit, I told the farriers, the guys, I said, listen, I'm tired of you guys fighting him because he's so sore. He wanted to fight him all the time when they're trimming him because he had abscesses. He developed a lot of abscesses in his feet. And I says, do you think it's going to get any better? And he said, no, probably not. I said, well, I'll let you guys know what I do. So I don't know. It was a couple weeks later. I decided to put him down, put him out of his suffering. Cause nobody wants to see that. I mean, we treat our animals better than we do our humans, us,
yeah.
As far as, in my opinion,
when I get to the point where I'm in pain all the time that somebody would put me
Right. You know what I'm saying?
it would relieve
Yeah.
me of that. I mean, 'cause I've seen some people really suffer.
Right. So I
But-
had a neighbor come dig a hole, and then I walked him down in there, and I had the vet put him down, and I kept some of his hairs. Some people might see the horsehair dangling off of my clutch lever going down the road. Well, that's Tucker. He's riding with me.
Oh.
So
Mrs. Gillum Farms is in here, and is Gillum the other one too, the husband? I met them briefly at the Mid America meetup, and I wish I had talked to them longer, but it just didn't happen.
there was another channel I met down there at Stockton Lake, White Rock Homestead.
Yeah, I didn't get to talk to them very much either. Although we introduced ourselves to each other and talked a little.
That's
bit.
a guy I would like to sit down and have 6 cold drinks with. You know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, you can't have that beer with everybody, or you'd be so drunk. Because
I don't drink, so
oh,
I might have a one. I got 5 out in the refrigerator right now that I haven't touched in a month. So, but yeah, that a YouTube meetup or something, I wouldn't mind having a couple, but I don't normally partake in stuff like that anymore. But
I had a little bit at the meetup, but that was about it.
Right.
And I don't have a problem with drinking. I've had my times when I drink, but
oh yeah,
lately it hasn't been anything that interests me all that much.
Well, like when it's really hot outside, after you get done working it, all day out in the heat and everything. I mowed grass all day. I got a little sunburn today, and felt great to have that sun beating on me. But I knew we were going to do this tonight, and I just about cracked one open because it would have been very refreshing. But yeah. But then after the horses, after I had to put him down, I gave my 2 other horses to my goddaughter up in northern Missouri, and she still has one of them. The other one passed away, kidney failure, I believe it was. And then, gosh, when was it? 2019. I bought a 2018 Road Glide. I think it was left over. And I took my first motorcycle trip by myself in 19 or 20. Maybe it was 19. And I loved it. I mean, it was like freedom, going down the interstate. So, and I had had other motorcycles back in my 20s, so, and I had a blast. I mean, just seeing the different sites and talking to different people in different states. And, it's funny because you pull up on a bike, and if you're pulling a little trailer or something, you got your gear on there. Somebody comes up and says, "Hey, where are you going? Where are you from?" And it's a 15-minute conversation, or even longer. It's just like I say in the end of my video, say hi to a stranger, because some of them people actually make my day, just having a conversation,
I used to love it when we had the fruit stand. I used to have conversations with people on the fruit stand all the time. I'm sure Sherman Family Farm, Josh knows that.
Right.
Well, you easily get into a half hour to 45-minute conversation with a customer that just wanted a basket of cherries.
Right.
Didn't know they were.
Josh says he's got a motorcycle that he never rode. Just sits in the driveway. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, after that first bike, my wife at the time didn't want to ride. I don't know. She was very high anxiety, and really didn't want to do much with me. So I traded that in for my 2020 Road Glide Limited, and you know, she was history anyway. So she, we had she rode horses with me and stuff, and she had a lot of other stuff going on, and it just didn't work out. But the only thing I gained off of that was a son. Excuse me, was a son. So we still talk every day. Well, just about every other day, and he's got I've got a grandkid from him. So
Well, that's awesome. See,
yeah,
there's a reason there's a reason
yeah,
for everything.
yeah. I
You
got
know,
him started in the trucking industry, and yeah,
my motorcycle stories is not very much because when I was about 22 years old, my cousin and I were working together on the farm and working on the house that I work on has had different stages of, I mean, when we worked on it back in my 20s, it was just to get it up to par because there were certain things that just really needed things done to, like
mm-hmm.
like wiring and plumbing and stuff like that. But he convinced me that I should go get my permit for doing the motorcycle, and I passed the written test, and he took me out to, and it wasn't even a big motorcycle. It was, it wasn't small, but it wasn't big either. It was just kind of right for somebody who was just beginning.
Right.
And when I almost took my head off on a cherry tree, I figured this wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I had no business doing this. So
right.
I put an end to it almost immediately because it's funny because I'm really coordinated in a lot of things, but that wasn't one of them.
Right. Yeah.
That just was not one of them.
But I was, my first bike was I think a 650 Yamaha Special. I rode it clear up to my hometown, about 400 miles, and I thought, my gosh, this is just too small to be doing this, David Moffat says, after 3 motorcycle wrecks from idiot drivers, I gave up.
Yeah.
So
yeah, traveling, you really got to pay attention to those drivers because they it's not that they don't actually see you, it's because they didn't know to look for you, or they weren't looking for you. And I can see it. Sometimes there are times I'll be driving down the throughway and it just seemed like a motorcycle comes from out of nowhere, buzzing around. Well, a lot of motorcycle drivers are probably very responsible in their driving, but some of them,
and there are some idiots. I'll tell you, I know that for a fact.
Fly through between cars,
right? Doing wheelies down the road and stuff like that. There's a time and a place for all that showboating, not on the interstate. I see enough of that when I'm driving truck. So, in fact,
that's got to be scary.
Yeah,
that is definitely something I have no business doing.
There's a lot of stupid stuff that goes on the interstates around big trucks that it's just crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine driving a semi.
Yeah.
Because I'd probably have it jackknifing in the ditch in 5 minutes.
Well, they say anybody can drive a truck now because they're almost, the new trucks now are all auto shifts. You don't even have to learn you don't even have to learn how to drive a stick shift anymore to drive a truck.
Yeah, I see those. What are those ramps called? They're called escape ramps.
Yeah. Yep.
Have you ever had to use one?
No. For 28 years, I've been just running like Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Iowa, Nebraska, that area. I pull doubles, and it's LTL industry, light truckload, different shipments on the trailers and stuff.
Could you imagine hitting an escape ramp with
Yeah.
double trailers?
Yeah. Hat Creek
I'd
Homestead
jackknife that
says
twice.
motorcycle drive under his trailer to pass him. Yeah. Oh yeah, I believe that.
Good night, Tish. You have a
Good night, Tish. Good night, Pooch.
Love you guys.
But yeah.
Definitely something I'll never try is semis and motorcycles.
Right. But I will be back. I'll be back driving truck next Tuesday. So, I mean, this has been it's kind of been a fun 2 months because I've been doing more videos than normal. I've been having a lot of fun. And if you know my channel, I do a variety of things, some fun stuff.
A lot of vlogging.
Yeah. New development, is I have a hired hand. He's missing right now, so I don't know where he's at. But it's just I like to have fun and make people laugh and have a good time. And there is also a serious side, So it's just a good time.
Yeah. It is. I love it. I love my lives. I need to get on my content videos a lot better than I do. I mean, I wanted to have that cornhole board video out. Not that I'm trying to set it up to connect it to the Mid-America meetup, because I'm really not. I might mention it.
Right.
That was the purpose for doing it, but I mostly want that video to be a general public thing because, the 4th of July is coming up and there's a lot of people that might be looking for backyard games to work on or build or whatever. And it could be an optimal time to put a video like that out.
Right. Who was that? Back to Good Off Grid. They were talking about 37-foot camper from Illinois to Arizona, mountains of New Mexico and Arizona. Thought for sure we would be using those ramps on the way down. Yeah. And I have a family friend that grew up around my dad that drives a cab over Kenworth still and pulls a flatbed. And this man is 70 years old, 70 some years old maybe, and still chaining loads, tarping loads, and he runs the old back roads and runs the mountains, and yeah.
So you're a local driver now, right?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I'm home every night. I'm home every night. I go to Tulsa, Sapulpa, Muskogee, Oklahoma.
Oh, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Good Times Homestead's in here with Jen and Steve.
Yeah.
I just noticed that. I hope they weren't in here long. Because I try to hit everybody, at least acknowledge that they're in here and stuff.
Blood pressure was crazy, I'm sure. Yeah. You know what makes my blood pressure boil is wintertime driving with doubles, especially if the roads aren't clear, because you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, back road, Justin. I would like to release that on Friday. Probably release it around 6:00 on Friday. I mean, it's almost edited. I just have to do some explaining in it, and that's about it. I tried to get it was that cornhole board. The video footage I have of it is 3.5 hours. And that was with just showing bits and parts of painting and bits and parts of this. And I had to cut it. It went through probably about 3 editing sessions trying to get it down, because I would like it to be around 20 minutes, because anything longer than that is going to be too long. So I got it down to 26, and I'm like, what else? Do I cut out more, or do I just take the whole thing and condense it into time lapse.
Right.
But no, I guess I can't cut too much out because I didn't stay on anything long, but there was a lot of things to do. A lot of comparable videos are about 10 to 15 minutes. And I'm thinking I really got to stick around that number, or people are going to look at the time stamp and go, I don't want to watch a 26-minute video on a cornhole board.
Right.
So we'll see what I do. And I definitely would like to try to get that out by Friday, and I might even make it a premiere.
Mm-hmm.
You got anything coming out that you're working on?
Well, I got to work on it tonight. I'll probably release it for a video of Miss Linda's birthday present.
Oh, that's right. You just said that.
Yeah. And then Thursday, I might be taking a little either a motorcycle trip, or I might go camping with the motorcycle camping trailer with the bike. Haven't decided yet. That'll be a good one. So,
motorcycle camper. How big is that?
It's not real big. It's just a little pop-up camper. I bought it down in Oklahoma, and I actually took it to El Reno, Oklahoma, and camped out at Two Old People on the Couch and Grumpy Grandpa Patriot Show. Camped out at in their driveway. Had a really good time.
What's it about the size of a twin bed or something like that?
Well, 2 people can sleep on it.
Oh, really?
And yep, it folds open.
Now I think I know.
Yeah, I actually bought it, and then when I bought it, I went over to Bristow, Oklahoma, and camped out at the RV park, and did that, and then came home the next day. So it was a really good time.
I watched some of your adventures, though. The one that sticks out in my mind the most is when you went. I don't know where you were going, but you stopped at this little tiny house, and it had goats and stuff right out the backyard of the tiny house. Or it was a Airbnb tiny house.
Goats. Trying to think.
It might not have been it could have been a donkey, a goat, or
it was a horse.
Four-legged nature.
Was it rainy? Was it kind of rainy and misty? Because if Miss Linda was with me, that was
no, you were by yourself.
Oh, I know what that is. That was my January trip to Oklahoma, to the K River Camp down there, Adam Sandoval's campground down there at Oklahoma. And it was 27 degrees, I think, when I left here that morning.
Oh, that's right.
Because he was advertising half-price cabins and campsites. So I was like, well, I'll go on down there. So Miss Linda says, it's too cold for me. So I bundled up. I had a heated vest on and my chaps, long underwear, and I headed south. I had people going by me taking videos of me going down the road because it was so cold out.
Did you have icicles on your chops?
No. I had how you breathe through a little mat, cloth mask. I had a little frost, but once I got down to Joplin, it warmed up, and I was glad I did that because I actually got to meet the man and talk to him on the next day, and everybody was really, really nice down there. And don't ask me what river it's on because I don't remember. And
what river was it on?
Yeah, there's a river down there that the campground's on that people go canoeing and stuff. But gosh, what? Moyers, Oklahoma? Does that sound right? I think it's Moyers, Oklahoma.
Karen Brest is in here. And let's see if there's anybody else. Mary Jameson. Wanda Henry.
Yeah, she was asking for prayers earlier. Be thinking about you, Wanda.
Yes. Unspoken prayers. Is that it?
Let's see here. God, next month, shut down the interstate. We stayed over. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to work and then so this is Paul Honeyman suffering from old people's memory. I got CRS. Okay, Paul.
You have
But
to
yeah.
release a 26-minute video on the cornhole boards. I don't. Like I said, nobody else had a video out that was longer than 15. I think the longest one I saw was probably 18 or 20 minutes. But it's interesting. I guess I could jazz it up a little bit. I show some painting techniques and stuff like that, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'll finish editing it tomorrow, I hope.
Heather Landstrom.
Yeah. She's a great support to a lot of channels.
Oh, yes.
To a channel,
definitely.
and she posts things for their people's channels and all kinds of stuff. She's great.
Yeah.
She's great. Watch every minute of it, Brian. Well, yeah, some people will watch every bit of it, but somebody who doesn't know anything about my channel might say, sometimes that timestamp can make somebody want to watch it or not. Although they can speed through it if they want, put it on high speed.
Yeah, we won the cornhole, those cornhole boards, and I actually had to look. Well, I printed it off, the rules for cornhole. I didn't know how far apart.
I still don't know them.
It's 20. I think it's 27 feet. They're supposed to be as far apart.
Some people are laughing because they're like, "You've never played cornhole boards, but you've made them." I still haven't. I didn't even play those cornhole boards. I intended to. I thought, oh, we'll get there early at the Airbnb, and Maddie and Byron were my housemates with Papa, and we were going to set them up, and we were going to play with them for a while. That never happened. It never happened. They never even came out of the truck until we got to the meetup.
Right.
And then I didn't even know how I was going to have somebody win them. Like, I knew that we couldn't run a tournament because that would have taken forever. Right. I mean, if there was more than 2 people that wanted to play, it would have taken forever. So we did a one and done. If you miss it, you're out. If you get it, then you're on to the next round.
Wow.
And in the first run, and I could be wrong, but I think there was at least 60 to 70 people that lined up on that sucker.
Wow.
And in the first round, 6 people made it. That was
wow.
I can't remember the one guy's name, but one was Drew. There was Ridge Life, Bland's Promised Land, Team Tate, and the other guy that I can't remember his name. And then it got down to Bland's Promised Land and Team Tate, and they played that against each other for at least a good 5 rounds before somebody finally got it. It's funny because Team Tate only came for the fishing competition, won some of the raffles for the general raffle stuff, and played the cornhole game, took it home, and he was gone. He was like there for like 3 hours.
Right.
Everybody was talking about winning the cornhole boards, and he came in, got it, and took off.
That's like us. We were down there at Stockton Lake meet up, and we were there, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours, something like that. I mean, it took us 3.5 hours to get down there. But we had to stop at Walmart because somebody forgot to bring chairs. I don't know who that would be. But we stood for most of the time because I was talking to Jason with White Rock Homestead, and I was like, it feels good to stand for a change, instead of sitting around the house and snacking on whatever. So
Yeah, there are times I know what you mean because living on this farm and the buildings being so far apart, we usually use the golf cart or the gator to get back and forth and go to the grapes and go to the. Sometimes I just want to walk.
right.
My dad will say, "Get on the golf cart. We got to go down and check this. Can I just walk?"
Right. Yeah.
Walk. Oh, Drew's Lens came in here finally, but I'm happy you came in.
Oh, Drew's. Yeah.
Always nice to see Drew.
Yeah.
He's a good buddy. I've talked to him for many hours, and he's a good guy. And Lindsay.
Yeah, I can't remember if he was on your live.
He's been on. I've had a combination of both of them on my live several times.
Right. That video of him fixing that cross on top of that rock, that was an awesome video. I really liked that one. So
he has been in here.
He said he's been in here for a while.
Time since he commented, but yeah. Drew's always there for me.
Yeah.
He's in every one of my lives, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
You've been on TV for an hour. I just been listening. Oh, well, sometimes you want to just sit back and listen. Yeah. Oh, because he's got it on the TV. Yeah, I do that sometimes. Sometimes I'm not in the mood to sit at my computer to watch a video. I'll put it on my big screen and
right.
But it just makes it more difficult to do the text, the chatting.
Yeah, I don't know
everything.
Yeah, I don't know how on my phone. I don't know how to tag channels. With the app. So I've tried it. You got to type everything in on there.
Yeah. You'll always know when I'm on my phone because I'll just do the first name basis thing.
Yeah. I always just say hello, everybody.
Because sometimes the @ is not actually, like you might, for example, say it would be @Drew's Lens, or, it could be @Drew's Lens with the number on the end of it or something like, and you don't know what that number is off your head. So you just, or sometimes they're different because once you set up is it a UGL or what is it called? What is that? What's the tag with the @? Once you set that up, you can't change it.
Right.
And some people still have like old channel names or the way they used to write it, like Arkansas's Last Frontier. He changed his, so his @ is different than his actual title.
Right.
But I think, let's see how long we've been on. I think this is a really good live. I appreciate you finally coming on, and we've talked about it.
Yeah.
Nobody's fault that we haven't done it yet. It just didn't happen, but we did it. We got it.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we did. I want to thank everybody for coming into the chat and my moderators for doing a great job of protecting my channel. Ken, thank you very much for coming in and joining me.
Thanks, Brian. It was good talking to you.
Yeah, sure. It was. It was good talking to you. Next week, we've got My Wild Home. They got an island. You gotta check it out. Next, I would like it if everybody in the chat went and watched some of their stuff, because you might want to know before you get to them next week. If you don't know their channel, subscribe to Ken's channel.
It's not Lone Star. It's not Lone Star. Come on, Brian.
Lone
Spit it out.
Cowboy Adventures. Subscribe. Watch a full video. Leave a comment. Like it. And subscribe. Make sure you get it. Make sure you concrete it in so that YouTube can't delete your subscription, because it will happen.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate you having me on, Brian. I really do.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And
That's
everybody in the chat, I appreciate you all too.
I love having people on and getting to know them a little bit better. It just concretes it even more.
Right.
And yes, thank you very much. So next week, Wednesday, My Wild Home, 9:00 Central. Good night, everybody.
Say hi to a stranger. Thank a veteran.
Yeah. That's not your whole line, is it?
Pretty
Say
much.
hi to a stranger. You might not.
Oh, say hi to a stranger. They might make your day.
There you go. See,
Yeah.
I tell you how to do your own tagline. All right. Good night, everybody.